What's up everybody, Rob Outcast once again for the SB Entertainment video channel. And in this tips and tricks video that I'm going to do, I'd like to cover a fundamental concept that even the veteran DJs sometimes get confused about, and that is the topic of wiring your equipment. Now in this specific example that I'm going to do, I will be covering the CDJ-2000, the Rane SL4 interface box, and Serato Scratch Live. So I'd like to show you some of the gotchas and the tips and tricks that I picked up along the way while using this equipment, and how I was able to find the best configuration to wire my setup so that my CDJ-2000 works with the Rane SL4 interface box and Serato Scratch Live, and still be able to address any potential catastrophic failures that I might run into while being out in the field and DJing. So without further ado, I'd like to show you what I came up with, and I hope you guys find this very informative. Let's go. Alright, to show you what we're working with, I have the DJM 900 mixer, and we have the CDJ-2000. This box right here, I actually have it set up so it doesn't have to leave the coffin, is the Rane SL4 interface box for Serato Scratch Live. The typical setup for this is, of course, you have the time code approach, where you use the time code CD, put in the CDJ-2000. The output for the CDJ-2000 connects to the input of the Rane SL4 box, which is then routed to the output, where the output connects to the input of the mixer. Not to go too much into detail on that, but you know, for any Scratch Live users, you already know that this is the basic setup for when using the Rane interface box, Serato Scratch Live, and a CD player or turntable. In this case, we're going to focus on the CDJ-2000. So output goes here, from here goes to the mixer, plain and simple. But the issue that you run into when you're using the Rane SL4 box is that it doesn't have the same throughput as the original SL1 box. Now in the original SL1 box, when you plug in to the input, the output and the output after the data is processed through the interface box comes out through the line, and then there's another output which is the through, so that you could, if you're using a turntable, without having to have any other interaction within the software, you could just go to your mixer, switch from either phono or line. The line is where Scratch Live's output is going into. Phono is where, if you're going to use a regular vinyl, that's where the output is going to go. In this case, it's not the same with the SL4. In the SL4, for your player, such as a turntable or the CD player, for the throughput to come out, you actually have to invoke the software to reroute it for you. Let me see if I could show you my screen. There you go. So in the software, let me get up there, there's an actual throughput where you have to click it in order for your CD or whatever format you're using to come out. So rather than to keep talking about it, let me show you. So let me come out here. I have the time code CD here, so we'll play it. Now, so we have time code playing right now. You can make it slower, faster, blah blah blah. You get the gist of it. Now, the problem is, if I take this time code disc out, and I'd like to put a regular MP3 disc or regular audio CD, and I'll plug it in, it doesn't automatically route it out. Let's say picking this song, right? As you can see, you're getting garbage coming out of Scratch Live because it doesn't know how to process that data that's coming from your audio CD. So that's why it's doing that. So let's say you eject that song so you don't have anything playing except for the CD. Come out of here. Okay, so you have the CD playing but nothing's coming out. You don't hear anything because you have to invoke it in the software to push that sound out. So you go from here, you click on through. Let me turn this down a bit, and now you hear it. All right. Alright, so back to our CDJ. So for your actual CD, your audio CD, for you to hear it come out of the mixer, you have to go through Scratch Live and click on that through button in order for the audio to come out. Now, what if you run into an issue and Scratch Live actually fails? I mean, it's a software, and the question is whether is it gonna fail. It's not whether it's gonna fail, it's actually when is it going to fail, because you don't know. So going back to the laptop screen, if I show you a scenario where, let's say, Scratch Live fails and you didn't click on through, so now you're stuck because your CDJ is plugged in to your CDJ is plugged into your Rane SL4 box. Your software crashed, and now, even though as a backup you put your audio CD into the CDJ, no audio output is coming out of your mixer. One way to get around this is if you have this running in the background, or actually just launch it and have it running in the foreground while you're waiting for Scratch Live to run again. This is the SL4 audio driver control panel. So if you don't have Scratch Live running and you need to change your channel into a throughput channel, you could do it through this. Let me go back here. Alright, so when I click on that, now channel 3, which is where my CD is, becomes a throughput channel, so that you're not going to hear garbage or any garbled distortion out of that channel. So now you're able to hear the audio that's coming out of the CD player out to your mixer. But if you run into that issue where Scratch Live fails, or you don't have this SL4 audio driver control panel up and running, or even worse, your USB cable fails, what are you gonna do? I mean, are you going to start unplugging cables out of the back of this and then plug it direct to your mixer? You could do that, but if you have wires going like crazy, I mean, there's a high chance of you making a mistake connecting it into the back of your mixer, especially if you have it in a coffin like this, tight space. It just might not work out as you plan. So a good alternative to using timecode with Serato is actually use your CDJ-2000 as an HID interface to Serato. So let me show you what I mean by that. Alright, so this other CDJ-2000 is connected to Scratch Live as an HID interface. What do I mean by that? Well, basically, when you're using your CDJ-2000 as an HID device, you no longer need timecode CD in order for you to invoke any of the audio in the software. Now, another plus for using your CDJ-2000 as an HID device for Scratch Live is that you have full control of the software. As you can see, I'm moving the library by using the knob on the CDJ-2000 itself. And not only do you have full control over the software with this, you can scroll through your library, you could load tracks, you could play the song without having to use timecode. It's more accurate than using timecode. You can set your cue points into Scratch Live by using the CDJ-2000, and you know, all the controls for it is basically MIDI mapped into the software. So you can trigger your cue points. You could do your needle track search. Yeah, eject it, no problem. So that's CDJ-2000 being used in an HID device in a nutshell. But what's an additional plus for users that use this as an HID device for Serato is that your RCA output for the CDJ-2000 is now no longer needed to be plugged into the SL4 interface box, because the software is now being triggered by USB cable. You no longer use the control CD. So now your output for the RCA cables for your CDJ-2000 can be connected directly to the line input for your mixer. So if you want to use this as with Serato, then you can do it. So let's say you're playing, blah 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 blah, and then something happens, right? Let's say Serato's Scratch Live freezes on you. What's your backup now? Now you need to go to a CD, right? So you take your regular CD, you can just pop in direct to the CDJ and be ready. Let's go to the disk. Immediately with the disk. So even if your laptop dies and you have no laptop moving forward, as long as you have a contingency plan, which is your burned CDs, you're good to go. You don't have to worry about the extra cable routing the output by triggering the throughput in Scratch Live. You don't have to launch the Rane SL4 audio driver control panel. None of that stuff. So if you get a catastrophic failure in your laptop or the software, the SL4 box or the USB cable, you're still good to go, because now your output for the CDJ-2000 is plugged in direct to the mixer. You can pick up a CD that you already pre-burned, pop it in, and within seconds you're already up and running. You don't have to worry about rebooting your laptop or any of that. That would basically take up more time, and every second that you spend without audio is like an eternity when you're playing out in a gig. So, you know, now you have immediate access to the CDJ. And an extra plus to this, the CDJ-2000 is a multi-format player. So, if you have one of these, I have a 64 gig in here, you could put tons of songs in here. You could actually DJ straight from this thumb drive. And it's so efficient, it's so effective, you don't have to worry about burning MP3 discs. Go straight to the thumb drive. You just click on USB, you go to the folder where your files are, you just pick whatever song, you're up and running. Right there. All the functionalities of the CDJ-2000, yeah, it's a powerful tool by itself. Now you're really maximizing the potential for this DJ appliance. So, by using the CDJ, if you're a Serato DJ and you're using CDJ-2000, plug it in, connect it as an HID interface device, and the output where your RCA cable plugs into, plug it direct to your mixer. So you'll take up two outputs, two inputs. One input is for the Rane SL4 box, and one is direct from the CDJ's output. So, catastrophic failure in your laptop, it is a computer, it's inevitable. Yet, you could argue until you're blue in the face about what brand of laptop you're using and it doesn't fail, blah blah blah. You just never know. You gotta have a contingency plan, and that's what makes you a professional. When something fails, how will you be able to react to that situation? If your laptop fails, if your cable fails, if someone spills something on your SL4 box, what are you gonna do? Your setup, the way it is, at least in my opinion, the way my setup is, this is one of the best setups that you could ever have. You have the CDJ-2000s, multiplayer format player, plays DVDs, MP3 discs, etc., etc. Plays through the thumb drive, uses the CD. It acts as an HID interface for my preferred DJing software, which is Serato Scratch Live. So, what I'm trying to say is, if you take into consideration the features and the options that your tools can offer you, make sure you're maximizing those features when you're connecting them and putting them together into a final piece. So, my advice, DJs that use the CDJ-2000 with Serato, use it as an HID interface device and have it communicate to Serato using the USB cable. That audio output gets pushed into the SL4 box, and the SL4 box's output that has the RCA connection, that'll go to your mixer. On top of that, an extra layer of protection, your CDJ-2000 has an output that uses an RCA cable. Plug that direct to your mixer as well. So that way, if you have a failure in your laptop or any other part of your setup that involves the software, Scratch Live or Rane SL4, you still have the CDJ's full functionality available to you within seconds. Whether you're going to use the actual CD or you're going to use the thumb drive, it's there for you. So that's something to think about. I know everybody has different preferences on how they set up their equipment, but for me, I believe this is the best setup for me, and that is by using my CDJ-2000s as an HID interface for Serato Scratch Live and wiring it in a way so that I can immediately use the CD feature or the thumb drive feature of my CDJ-2000 if ever I do run into any software issues while I'm playing out and doing a gig. Alright, so there it is, folks. I hope you found this video very informative and helpful. I look forward to hearing your comments, some feedbacks from some of you other DJs on how you're preparing yourself and connecting your equipment to get you ready and prepared for any potential catastrophic failures that you might encounter while playing out in the field. Now, like I said, for this example, I'm using the CDJ-2000, I'm using the DJ M900 Nexus mixer, the Serato Scratch Live, and Rane SL4 interface box. So if you have any questions, I look forward to answering them for you the best I can. Hit me up at Twitter @DJ Outcast. If you feel like sending me an email, djoutcast@gmail.com. Shoot me a text or give me a call, 732-993-8773. I'm accessible for whichever you'd like to reach out to me to. But basically, I'm here to help you guys out. If you guys have any other questions or further explanations, feel free to reach out. Alright? Series Sounds Crew, Rob Outcast for SB Entertainment. Peace.